matter how much you optimize, I'm sure you guys have experienced this over the years too. It's just the reality is people are just sick of the same old thing. I mean, we've generated millions of leads and just watched this trend go down, 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 right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about, have you guys seen the same thing, Ron?
Yeah, I don't know anybody that hasn't.
It's just the reality. There's got to be a better way. So I'm going to show you guys the most basic. If you already know bots, just know you're about to see the most sophisticated bots in the world. But I want you guys who are new to this to see a very, very basic bot. So imagine Jenny sends in a message to Widget Enterprises, all right? And the bot says, "Hello, Jenny, would you like to test drive our widget?" And Jenny says, "Sure." And the bot says, "Great, would either of these times work, Tuesday at 1 or Tuesday at 3? And Jenny says, "Tuesday at 1. Thanks, and what's the best number to reach you at?" And Ron, I don't know if you remember this one, but for all of us who were alive during the 80s, we might already know Jenny's number is 8675309. Jenny, I need your number. Got it. Sorry, Ron. And is this still the best email to reach you at? Right? And she says, "Yep, but wait a second. How does the bot know Jenny's number or Jenny's email?" Because Jenny is on Facebook, and Facebook has Jenny's email address. So instead of having to type it in, within one click, you're able to get somebody's email. And I'll show you what that does to registration rates here in just a second. Thanks, that's it. Take care. All right, so think about what happened here. Jenny didn't have to pick up a phone or email back and forth or deal with some, like literally just right? Got a customized experience, got an appointment within, I mean, if it wasn't for the bad joke, probably 10 seconds, right? What did the business got? A phone number, an email, and an appointment, just like that. And it's just an easier way for everybody to communicate. So how, right? This is all about leads. Ron LeGrand's all about leads. How do I get leads? So if you think about a traditional website, what do you got? You got an opt-in form. With a chat bot, you can have somebody click on a button on your website. You can have a link. You can literally put this link in an email and a text message. You can put it on a web page. You can put it in social media, you name it. They click on that link, they get in your bot, all right? You can have a Facebook ad, run Facebook ads. And Ron, I know you're a big proponent of this. If they comment on a Facebook post, your bot can reply to them. If they send a message to you on Facebook, they instantaneously get subscribed to your messenger list. Remember, a bot lives on Facebook Messenger, at least right now, until it goes on to more platforms. All right, there's live chat. Literally, you can add a live chat widget. Instead of having to communicate, your bot will do it for you. All right, put it on your existing web pages. You can have landing pages, sliders, pop-ups. There's little scan codes. There's a dozen ways that you can get people into your bot. But here's the important thing to remember is that they get added to your messenger list, they get added to your email list, and you can get their phone number too. And actually, I didn't show you this, but you can get their phone number with one click. All right, I didn't show you that because I wanted to tell you the joke. But if they have a phone number in Facebook, one click opt-in. And needless to say that in this day and age, having more ways to communicate with people is going to make it more likely that you get the deal. So just to kind of show how this has worked out for us, one of my companies called Clever Investor, this was our first year on our bot. Okay, if you guys want some kind of growth like this in your business, obviously I can't guarantee you're going to get growth like this. But if you guys want some kind of game changer to get some growth in your business, give me an "oh yeah" in the comments real quick here. All right, I just like to check up on you guys. All right, cool. We're going to jump into this thing here. All right, so go ahead, Ron.
There might be people listening and not watching. So what percentage of growth was that?
Oh, well, considering we started at ground zero, it's hard to say, man, in terms of the bot. You do the math on that. I mean, looks like it's starting at, maybe like 10,000 and it's ending at 160,000. That's a lot of percentages.
That's good growth.
Yeah, well, and the cool thing is we were able to replicate this over and over and over in different niches. I share this one because it's real estate related. But Messenger versus email, right? You just saw that Messenger is an interactive experience. It has way higher open rates. And, a lot of the experts will say, oh, 90% open rates. We've only got one client. Grant Cardone is our biggest client. And he gets like 95% open rates. Most people don't get that high. He's Grant Cardone. So the bottom line is if you're doing 20% on email, you're like crushing it. You'll get many, many times that with Messenger. And not only because open rates don't mean anything, it's the clicks is more important than the opens. And that's been struggling really bad on email too. The most important thing is that the conversion, the percentage of people that actually do business with you is way higher. And in fact, the first business I started this with, and I told you guys I don't like technology. I acquired a company called boardgames.com, which I've since sold out of. But I bought the company because I hate technology, ironically. I don't like computers, I like people. And what we found is when we did a promotion selling board games, right, something unrelated, between email and Messenger, there was a 6 times higher conversion rate on Messenger, okay? So, but I don't like to, this is another one of those things, everybody's always like, oh, Messenger is gonna kill email. It's not gonna kill email. Email's not going anywhere. If you don't have an email list right now, realize that this might be the way that you do it. I say Messenger and email go together like peanut butter and jelly, because you've never had a way to collect email addresses with one-click opt-ins. All right, we get right now on our first bot flow, all right, and what a flow is an interactive bot experience. I showed you the basic one with Jenny. I'm about to show you a real estate one in about 5 seconds here. We get a 72% email opt-in rate. I would be surprised if on paid traffic right now, if you're getting 25% opt-in rate on your website forms. It's just the reality of what's going on in the market. All right, so you guys are here to do some deals. All right, if you guys want to see a bot that flips houses, give me an oh yeah in the chat here. Just to make sure you guys are ready to kick some butt. Cool. All right, good. Okay. All right, and Ron, I love how you're really excited about this stuff. Ron was very upfront. He's like, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about, man. But if it can help generate some leads and do some deals, I'm all about it. Again, you don't have to be into technology to make money from technology, right?
No.
It's two completely separate things.
I get it.
Go ahead, Ron.
I said, I get it. I really do know now.
So what we're looking at is we're looking at the back end, right? The bot building platform called ManyChat, okay? This is where we build our bots, and this is a bot flow. So if you remember, the Jenny thing was the user's perspective. This is where you actually build a bot. And what you're gonna see is it's really just a series of interconnected boxes, okay? So we're gonna show you this demo here from a user's perspective. All right, and this is Facebook Messenger, and I'm just showing you the blown up view, but people use it on their phones and on their computers and, you know, anywhere that they use Facebook, which is pretty much everywhere here these days. But as you'll see, it's literally just a series of boxes interconnected. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you what this looks like from a user's perspective, and then at the end, I'll show you how we build it, okay? So this is the house flipping bot flow for finding motivated sellers. Okay, so for this example, we're going to pretend that your name is Pat and that your company is Acme Properties, all right? Because obviously we'll replace Pat and Acme Properties with your name and company here. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the demo. Acme Properties buys houses quickly and easily, no repairs, realtor fees, hassles, or headaches. Most importantly, you get paid cash. Everybody likes money. Okay, Matthew, let's get to it. What is the zip code of the house you'd like to sell? I'm gonna just use the house I grew up in as a kid, Willard, Ohio. Good news, Pat from Acme Properties is currently buying houses in Willard. What's the chances, huh? Amazing. What's the street address? Only the house number. Okay, so you guys are gonna see my humble beginnings here. Okay, just confirming, cool. Got it, and let me ask you, Matthew, how quickly would you like to sell? All right, now, Ron, I don't have to tell you this, but people on the phone have a tendency to wanna, I don't wanna say lie, but lie is the best word that I have, and you ask questions like this, and they wanna just protect themselves. They all got their guard up like this. So they'll say, you know, I mean, it's not a huge hurry, you know. Because everybody wants to play negotiator, right? It's this amazing thing that happens when they don't have that human element of embarrassment or feeling like they have to put their guard up, where they actually give real honest answers. So the vast majority of people say it's fast. Pat can buy super fast. In fact, if you can work out a win-win deal, Pat can buy as fast as yesterday. This is using super advanced technology, even more advanced than me. It's the time machine, the DeLorean from Back to the Future. All right, little humor, right? Because this is, and I want to point this out, right? Because you might go, oh, okay, cool, cheesy joke, whatever. But this is really positioning this as, hey, this has got to be a win-win deal, okay? And then we just say, like, we drive home the point that we can get this deal done fast. And when they're laughing, they want to do business with you, okay? So let's add, how would you rate the overall condition? Need some work. No sweat. The great thing about working with Acme Properties, they worry about all the details. Just curious, when you say need some work, how much are we talking? Say total disaster area. Last question before I do a little research. If you were to sell your property as is, no repairs, do you have any idea what you would get for it? Now, Ron is the master of negotiation, and the fact that, you know, he's looking at this as a new platform, I guarantee that he's going to be able to give some tips to make this even better. But here's what's unique. Just like a real life conversation, when you're on the phone with somebody, you don't just give them the same darn answer every single time, right? You adjust what it is that you're saying based on what it is that they tell you. So for those people who are like, hey, they're not really sure what the house is worth, well then, you know, we're going to go down a completely different path than if they think they have a rough idea, right? With this little smirk here. So let's just say that they say that they think they know what the house is worth. Love to get a feeling what you're realistically hoping for. Keep in mind, we'll be saving 6% on realtor fees and lots of expenses by selling to Pat instead of using an agent. And not to worry, this is not binding, just trying to get an idea if it's worth Pat's time or not. In round numbers, knowing this needs to be a win-win, how much were you thinking? These are words that when I like, and I've since moved on to several other business ventures, but the first time that I ever made a lot of money in my life, and, you know, I don't want to act like I was, you know, a multi-millionaire, but, you know, at my age to actually have large sums of cash coming in, you know, left and right, was because I finally stopped and said, I'm not going to worry about leads until I know how to convert these leads. So these words right here, right? And I know I've got the master negotiation here on the phone, but these words are worth their weight in gold, right? So what you're realistically hoping to get for the house, what we're doing is we're getting them to throw out a number, which we all know is one of those very difficult things to do. So we're putting in a perspective. It's got to be realistic. We're making them think, oh, I'll save 6% on realtor fees and other expenses. So I'm dropping the price, and not to worry, this isn't binding. So, hey, just throw it out, trying to find out if it's worth Pat's time or not, or if it's worth your time or not. All right, so don't come around with something, or it's just not going to be worth it, right? So in round numbers, knowing this needs to be win-win, how much were you thinking? All right, so we positioned this thing to get the best possible number. All right, thanks, Matthew. Before I begin my preliminary research and forward this information to Pat, I'd like to confirm this information. Okay, cool. So look what's happening here. When somebody, and first of all, we've made this thing so painless that everybody who comes in, I don't say everybody, but well over 90% of people go through this process. And when they get here, all they've got to do is click this email, and now they're on your list. Right? And what's the best phone number? Again, most people have their phone number. I didn't put mine in, just, you know, for obvious reasons. But there also one click with a phone number as well. All right. Great, thanks, Matt. I'm starting my basic analysis now, but looks like I want the expert's opinion on this one. At first glance, you're hoping for 100,000, but the internet searches show a ballpark in 92. Hoping there's a little wiggle room to make this a win for Pat too. All right, hope we got a little wiggle room in there. All right, so look, guys, what's happening is now the bot is negotiating for you. All right, first of all,
Actually,
the bot go ahead.
Actually, it's doing what I've been teaching to do. It's at making them answer questions, therefore making you an offer.
You got it.
Of big mouth and tell them what you'll pay.
That's it.
In the world of terms, we can add a few questions to that and find out if they're interested in terms before they even get off of this. Right off my scripts.
Love it. Love it. Absolutely. And anything I can do to help with that, I'm more than happy to do so. So what we've done now is we've won battle number one, which is to get them to put a number out. just even being there, because obviously when you talk to them, now you've got Ron's special terms that you can offer. You can always negotiate, right? But now we're at this place where right when it's usually this high tension stress, we make them we release the pressure with a little bit of humor, all right? And we say, hey, this is too high for Pat, especially if it needs some work, referencing the earlier conversation. Keep in mind, I'm just the robot, right? The robot here is taking all the pressure for you, right? I'd love for this deal to work out. All right, let's edit the estimate. Probably a good idea. I want to make sure that Pat takes this serious, as there's a lot of people who want to sell their house right now. How much were you thinking ballpark, round numbers only? All right, and we're seeing tremendous, and Ron, just like you always say, it's amazing the drops that people make when you just freeze position them and give them the opportunity to do it. That would really help, Matthew. Before I let you go, is there anything else you want to share about the property? I can pass along to Pat. Let's just say, I inherited this property, or, whatever. Okay, so let's really just think about what happened there. You now have somebody who you've got their messenger contact, you've got their email contact, you've got their phone contact. More importantly, you've been positioned to be the expert, and you've got a pre-negotiated deal on your lap and ready to rock. And what happens is you get delivered to you via email, and you can have this pushed into your CRM or whatever it is that you want to use. Ron, I know that there's tools that you suggest. You can have this data pushed right into that CRM, and you get a message in your Facebook that says, hey, cool, we got a deal. All right, here's a link to go check it out. And if you see that blue button there, if you've ever had a lead and not been able to get a hold of that lead, it's the most frustrating thing in the world, right? You're like, oh, I got a hot one. You can't get a hold of them on the phone. That button right there, you're instantly chatting with them on Facebook. And guess what that means? You're going to talk to every single person that comes through here, because they ain't going nowhere. They're on Facebook and they're already initiated. And the best part about it is, instead of that first conversation being starting from scratch, super awkward, they got their guard up, you now have a conversation piece, you now have a starting point, and you now can go and do your Ron LeGrand magic and get terms, get price, work it down, make it happen. But now you look like an expert instead of just being some other, person out there that's doing the same thing as everybody else. So, Ron, I don't know if you have anything you want to add on to that.
Well, I do, kind of. People are probably thinking right now, well, why don't I get this thing just to fill out my entire property information sheet? Forgetting the fact that that's not what this is for. It's just to establish a front-end relationship and get enough information to determine whether you even want to contact them or not. And then when you get them on the phone, you've got to get them on the phone sooner or later. That's when you can get any other information that you're missing. So this carries it far enough, actually, to do that. Other than if I'm going to do terms, I want to add my terms language in there, which isn't but 3 questions.
Yeah, and what's great is, now you've got that relationships established. I think this is, anybody who's watching this who's already doing deals is like, this is another way to do deals. Give me this. I'm all about it. But there's also a lot of people who don't have that experience yet and don't have that confidence, to be able to have these kind of conversations on the phone. And what this does is it handles that because like Ron said, there's more information, but that's once somebody wants to do business with you, that stuff's easy, right?
It's all about scripts and training. Those 2 will get over that. And look, you're going to buy houses. You got to talk to people sooner or later, even junkers. Got to talk to the seller, unless you're buying to the MLS, and that's going to be a tough road to hoe right now. So,
absolutely,
in my opinion, as soon as I get their phone number, I'm going to pick up the phone and call them.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yep. And now look at what you have to start with versus starting from scratch.
Yeah.
All right. And just real quick, I'm going to share this. We don't have a lot of time to go into this one, but so we have investors are just loving this in terms of motivated sellers. I had one guy in particular, I think he lives in Philadelphia, but he was just killing it with this bot. And he's like, Matt, I'm killing it, but I really want one for buyers too. And, and I'll just show this to you guys really quick here so you can see what this looks like. Because I showed you a little bit of what it looks like in the back end. you know, but you guys went through this, right? Welcome to the demo, and there's a button, right? And I want to show you this because I want you guys to see, you know, like let's just say Ron wanted to add a question. Well, what do? You click on a box here and you say question, you know, can we, you know, whatever it might be, and then you click on add a button and you offer the options. And, you know, and guys, I don't want to, the thing is, this is built in such a way that if you're somebody that struggles with email or like Microsoft Word really stresses you out, I don't want to act like anybody, you know, anybody can do this because we give you the pre-built bot and the step-by-step tutorials. But I do like to be upfront. If you're somebody that email is just tough for you, then maybe this isn't your thing. But I do want to show you that there's nothing technical here. Like, what is this? This is just a message box. These are just little waiting responses. So that way somebody gets a message, as you saw, it waits a few seconds, then it sends the next one. So if you can type in these boxes, then you can customize these. So ManyChat is a very, very easy tool to use. But to build what we just showed you, I want to make sure that you guys understand that, you know, we integrated it with, you know, different tools to look up values, as you guys saw, and, you know, they can go down different paths, and, you know, there's all these different things. So, you know, to be upfront, this took me months to build, and even more to really perfect and just make sure that it's optimized for conversion, right? Because leads is only half the battle. So that is the one that we built specifically for motivated sellers. But I had, you know, it's like you got somebody who's having a lot of success with the one for sellers. He's like, dude, we need one for buyers, and finally talked me into doing it. And I said, my only thing is I want you to be the first person to test it out. And he said, dude, I have a house to sell this weekend. So after I built it, I sent him the one for buyers, and I said, hey, how did it go? Did you sell your house this weekend? He said, yeah. And I said, nice, how much? He said, I had the deal locked in at 50 with the seller. The bot didn't work engaging the investors. Has an open house bidding war. Highest bid came in at 72K. Yada yada. I just, wow. So we made 22,000. Yep, nice payday. So we've also now, and there's, I mean, literally less than 100 people who've even seen this new buyer bot system. So what it does is it collects buyer leads, right? All kinds of buyer leads, finds out what they want, what kind of properties they want, where do they want to buy the properties at. It segments them into different lists. And Ron, I know this is not a new trick saying, hey, you'll be on my VIP list. But the way that we built this is that when people interact with the bot, right? So they answer the questionnaire, you send out deals, and they open up the deals and they click on them. What it does is it segments them into different baskets based on their activity level. And whenever you send out a property, you send it one time, right? Just, I mean, it's literally just a matter of changing a picture and you send it out through your bot one time. And what it does is it gives the VIPs 15-minute head start over the rest of your list.
That's cool.
And what it does is, and you only got to send one message. You don't have to divide it up. The bot literally divides people up based on their activity, and it even tells them, hey, if you open up my next 3 properties, I'm going to bump you up to the VIP list. So they're constantly trying to get to that next level, and then there's always a sense of urgency every time you send out a message. It says, hey, look, you know, I'm sending out to the next batch in 15 minutes. You better hustle. And ultimately what's been happening is it's creating, instead of sending out a property and you hear a couple back, manually do one at a time, it literally just put people into buckets, gamifies the whole thing, and creates competition for people to buy your deals. So I'm so excited to be sharing this with you guys. It's something that nobody else in the world's even thought to do. But here's what matters, right? Because I know a lot of us are looking at this and going, boy, this is a lot. I don't, you know, like, I'm just trying to figure this out. Now, assume that you didn't have to do this yourself. The question you have to ask is, do you want this kind of automation helping you in your business? That's your first step. Because if you look at this and you're like, yeah, you know, I don't think this would help me, or, you know, I'm just going to kind of keep doing things the way I want to be doing them. I'm not open into something new. Totally cool. And in fact, Ron, I hope it's okay. But if people are in that group, then you want to check out right now, that's fine. Because from here on out, we're going to talk to you about how do you actually do this so you can start getting some results. Okay. So
well, you've already hit on it once a day. There's no use in generating leads if you don't know how to convert them.
You got it. So anybody who's with me that wants, and whether it's with me or somebody else, I don't care, but leave a comment saying, oh yeah, if you want this kind of automation working for you and your business. All right, now I'm seeing a lot of oh yeahs, Ron. Sweet. Cool. Okay. So from here on out, it's all about how do we get you results as fast as possible. And I'm going to assume that you recognize that this is the future and you want to be on this. So why do you need a bot right now? Is you don't need any technical skills. As I've shown you, not only is it easy to do, you're moving boxes, you type and stuff, but we're going to take care of all the heavy lifting for you. It's a completely untapped source of leads. Just to have something that's unique that your competitors aren't doing. There's ridiculously high open and click-through rates. It works for any type of business, any type of real estate business, or any type of other business. If you're sitting here and you have other things that you do, it's a way to build your email and your phone list too, to finally stop struggling with how you're going to generate a list, and ultimately to dominate your local market. There's going to be somebody in your space that's going to run with this. And actually not just one, there'll probably be a couple, but they're going to be the early adopters, the ones that step up and make it happen. Because I told you,
Matt,
go ahead, Ron.
I'm just sitting here thinking, I used to have a restaurant, and if I'd applied this to the restaurant, it'd blow the doors off everybody else. Creates relationships with people, makes you more personal, makes them want to do business with you. Same thing.
You got it.
I don't know why I'm thinking of a restaurant, because I am so glad to get rid of that thing. But
What's funny is I have an example to give in just a second about restaurants, Ron.
oh, you do? Okay, I'll shut up.
It goes to show that you have a marketing mind, because a lot of people would think to themselves, oh, the last business in the world that would want something like this is a restaurant, right? Yeah. But that just goes to show the difference in understanding what this really is, right? Because yes, it's leads, yes, it's conversion, but if you don't have a relationship, you're never going to flip a house with somebody. You're never going to buy from them, and you're never going to sell to them. And this is the way to build. And like you still got to put the ball in the end zone, right? But this thing can drive the ball down to the 2-yard line for you. So I promise you, this was an opportunity to stop chasing technology and start getting in front of it. There's over 100 million businesses that have Facebook pages. There's less than 1 million active messenger bots right now. And the truth is that 99% of those are just horrible. They're so bad that when my marketing team came to me at Clever Investor and said, hey, we need to get a bot, I said, no, those things are stupid. I don't want one, right? Because right now there's so few people that are really truly doing this thing right. And I was saying not to brag, but I'm bragging, frankly. Within 2 weeks of us launching our bot at Clever Investor, we were ranked by Facebook as the #1 bot in the world in the finance category. And unfortunately, they don't do these rankings anymore for whatever reason. It was just something they did for about a year. But we were, for an entire year, we dominated. We rarely went to like the #2 spot, which means we were beating American Express, Discover, right? We were beating every major bank in the world, every real financial institution. I mean, little did they know we're an education company, but we had the word investing, so they put us in finance. So we're here with these multi-billion-dollar companies, and it's just me and my intern, Nick Frashone, using this $10 a month program, ManyChat, and we smoked them all. And I share this obviously to let you guys know that we know what we're doing, and this could be something that would be great for your business. But if you ever felt like you're that little guy and you're competing against, especially right now with all these stupid iBuyers and a whole lot of these institutional buyers and all this kind of stuff, if you've ever felt like you're the little guy and you want to figure out a way to be able to finally kick the big guy in the butt, this is your chance. So long story short, most bots, they're bad because not only they're not built to sell stuff, they're also poor because they just don't do a whole lot of stuff. So we built our core bot, and to answer your question, Ron, it can work for restaurants, it can work for e-commerce, it can work for any kind of real estate